Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Ability 411. It's Monday, and I'm Tiffany. So as you can see, I am outside in lovely Florida, and it is still a bit chilly. And I'm out in the wilds of Florida. So if you hear anything, I apologize because out where I live, you never know what you're gonna hear. You may hear a coyote, you may hear an owl, you may hear a skunk ape. Just saying. You may never know what could come around the corner. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. Just saying. And what you hear right now is the pool pump. So I can't get around that. It runs 12 hours at night. So yeah. Thanks for all the well wishes. I am feeling a bit better. Had some tests run last week, and they've been coming back okay. Docs got me on some new stuff, and just been taking it easy. Not really been doing a whole lot of nothing. Just kind of been hanging out and spending time with my friends and family. My best friend actually just moved to Arizona, so really just been kind of spending time with her before she left. She actually left a couple days ago, so just been relaxing and spending time with her before she left. So yeah. But let's get into this week's topic. So a big thing that's been like kind of going on since last week and really into this week is the whole, or I guess I should say not the whole, but a proposed bill that's actually kind of old, but it's kind of gotten some new steam, I guess you can say, and that is the accessibility taxi issue in New York City. There's a new bill that's been floated to City Council, the New York City Council, and it's to make all of the yellow cabs accessible, which is pretty rad. Right now, there's only 232, I believe, of the 13,000. That's right, folks, 13,000 yellow cabs accessible, and this bill would make it more. Yeah. So I'm going to go to my little cheat sheet because I wrote a bunch of stuff down and give you the facts. And these are cold hard facts. So bear with me. So there's this New York City councilman named Oliver Koppel, and he invoked a pretty much a rule called the sponsor's privilege, and this would force an action that would, push the bill through, because this bill has been in place since 2010. So for 2 years, almost 3 years now, 3 years, it's been floating around. So nothing's been done for 3 years. And if the panel approves it, then it could go to the full council, and this is the full New York City Council, by the end of May. So, and basically, what this does is they say whether or not that we get the money, and I would say we, but the city gets the money, or the people that is putting in the bill get the money for the cabs. And an advocate, and it's actually one of the leading advocates, is Assemblyman Micah Kellner. He's been one of the leaders, if you will. And if you don't, you should really Google Micah. He's kind of amazing, because I actually Googled or a lot about this. He's actually been one of the people that have been pushing this bill through. And, if you Google like New York accessibility and accessible taxis and blah, 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 and bills and all that stuff, his name pops up a lot. So that's why I mentioned his name. But anyway, he says it's a matter of civil rights for the disabled community. And, his words verbatim were, people with disabilities deserves access to transportation. I mean, those were his words verbatim. People with disabilities deserves access to transportation. And I've spent a lot of time in New York here recently, and every cab that I got, and I got into quite a few cabs, none of them were wheelchair friendly. They were either sedans or SUVs, and I had to hop in and either have the cab driver or myself take apart my chair and they put it in the trunk, or whoever I was with take apart my chair and put it in the trunk. So I couldn't imagine if you couldn't get out of your chair, or if it took you a long time, because most of the places that I needed to get into a cab were crazy busy. The traffic was flying by, and it was not a very safe place. Not to mention, if you've never been to New York before, the sidewalks aren't very accessible. It's very hard to find a curb cutout, and you're generally having to hop off a curb to get into a cab in the first place. So getting in and out of cabs are dangerous enough as it is. And to have a cab that would be wheelchair accessible, that would mean that you would have a cab with a ramp and you could just roll right in. So, yeah. But going back to the bill, the city's intention is to expand the fleet with 2,000 taxis. Now, Erica can tell you all about this, and she will, because, she works for MV1. She's told you about MV1. I'm not going to get into that. She can get into that. And I'll tell you she can tell you who got the bill, or who was awarded that. I'm not going to get into that, but she can tell you that. But there's lawsuits out the yin yang because of who got it. And I'll let Erica tell you that. But basically, because because the city wants to expand, and they're not just talking about like 50 to 100 cabs, they're talking 2,000 cabs, okay? Those cabs would generate up to $600 million. That's a lot of money, and that's all, revenue that would go back into New York City. So, I think it's a win-win situation here. They just gotta do it the right way. And they have to give it to the right person or the right company to make those vehicles. And I think that this is a good thing, because if New York City sets this precedence right now, then other major cities will follow, such as like LA and bigger cities, because Lord knows it's hard to get a cab anywhere, let alone an accessible one. And disabled people need rides just as much as anybody else does. So that's what I have to say about this week's topic. And if you guys have anything to say about it, or If you know specifically about what we're talking about this week, leave some comments, let us know, leave a video. As always, we're here to answer your questions, comments, or concerns. You can write us at ability411@gmail.com, and I will see you guys next week. All right, guys. See ya. Bye.